Welcome, I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari declares his intention to seek re-election in the 2019 presidential poll. The president departs Nigeria for the United Kingdom ahead of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in London. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu advocates deployment of new technologies in the conduct of elections in Nigeria. And Russia denies chemical attack on Syrian city of Douma last Friday, describes accusations of President Assad's complicity as provocation.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's oldest energy company, Shell Oil, reports increase in remittance to government, says theft from pipeline on the rise. On sports news, Team Nigeria win 2 silver medals on day 6 of the Commonwealth Games in Australia. And from Abuja, gunmen kill 7 persons in an attack on Inding village of Barikin Ladi local government area in Plateau State.
We begin tonight from Abuja, and it's now official. President Muhammadu Buhari will be seeking re-election in the 2019 presidential poll. The president declared intention to recontest during a meeting of the National Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress in Abuja. President Buhari's declaration was confirmed to journalists by the Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong after the meeting.
It is the 3rd National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressives Congress within a space of 1 month. President Buhari, while meeting with members of the party behind closed doors, declared his intention to seek re-election for the office of the president in 2019. The governor of Plateau State announced this shortly after the meeting.
To a point where the president felt so happy and excited that because of this reunion and because of this unity in the party, he will now consider and also accept the recommendations or the appeals by several members of the society, the party, and everybody that he contest this election. And he accepted that he's going to contest. He's going to contest again as the president for the position of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The National Executive Committee also ratified the recommendations of the Technical Committee, which reviewed the tenure elongation controversy rocking the party and concluded that the party should conduct elections for national and state executive officers.
We spoke about the 21 days notice. We talk about the requirements of Article 31, which also requires that if we have to comply with this, then the Constitution provides that certain waivers be made available to those who are crying that they will be disenfranchised. And we came to conclusion that if these provisions are taken care of, then there was no need for anybody to say we cannot do congresses.
In an earlier remark, the president canvassed for waivers for the present National and State Executive Council members who may want to seek re-election at the end of their tenure.
I also believe that the current executives should be free to vie for elective positions. Accordingly, the party may consider granting waivers to party executives at all levels so that they are not disenfranchised from participating in the elections.
A few weeks ago, President Muhammadu Buhari had reversed the extension of the tenure of the party executives, noting that if the situation is not amended, the party might face unnecessary legal battles. But with the issue finally laid to rest, the party appears set to organize an elective convention later in the year.
And shortly after declaring his intention, President Muhammadu Buhari departed Nigeria for the UK, where he'll be meeting with British Prime Minister Theresa May. The president took off from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja today around 4 p.m. His meeting with the British Prime Minister precedes the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, which starts on April the 18th. President Buhari will also be meeting with the Chief Executive Officer of Royal Dutch PLC, Ben van der Bodden, and the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Most Reverend Justin Welby.
He is going ahead of the Commonwealth meeting. because he is going there to engage with the British government and UK-based businesses. Now, I think that the historical nature of the relationship between Nigeria and the United Kingdom, the strength of that kind of relationship and the enduring nature of that relationship is such that Nigeria, the president has chosen to give it an ample amount of time, to sit down with them and discuss, as in the case of Shell, a 20-year plan for investment in Nigerian oil industry. So it's in the nature of the relationship. I think that is how it should be seen.
President Muhammadu Buhari may have put to rest the suspense concerning his intention to run in 2019. But that's not all. The president's announcement has revived the debate about whether the change his government promised has been delivered or not. This report traces the president's steps so far, his current political weight, and the hurdle ahead of his relaunched bid.
I, Muhammadu Buhari, do solemnly swear.
For President Muhammadu Buhari, the journey to this point is filled with defeats and disappointments. He lost in 2003, 2007 and 2011 presidential elections, but broke the chains in a historic victory in 2015, becoming the first opposition candidate to defeat an incumbent in the Fourth Republic. The All Progressives Congress APC rode on the change mantra, and so the expectations.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
Critics of the Buhari-led government say the change promise is cosmetic. In the wake of violent attacks across the country, the president lost popularity among his old allies and fellow retired generals.
It's also a right decision now for us to see that the man who has taken over from Jonathan has not met the expectation of Nigerians. That is what democracy is all about.
Former President Obasanjo is not alone on this road. Some members of the APC have given the president a thumbs down and are particularly not excited about his government. But the president's strong supporters, especially those in his party, do not believe he belongs to the sideline. They're resolute. Some actually threatened to sue him if he failed to seek re-election.
But when he came to Kano, I told him, anytime he decides not to contest, we will take him to court.
Amid the condemnations and commendations, there are members of the ruling APC whose silence cannot be taken for acceptance. The party is deeply divided. Strategist Bola Tinubu is the man picked by the president to tighten the loose relationships. But political watchers say whether President Buhari runs in 2019 or not, there is an imminent political exile of some APC's strongest members.
Now, to discuss the president's announcement today and the party's efforts to position itself ahead of the elections, I'm being joined on the news at 10 from Abuja by a legal practitioner, Mr. Daniel Bala. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so it's official. The president will run, and we see the NWC trying to resolve all issues. How did you take the news? Let's start from there.
Right. Well, the declaration by the president did not come to me as a surprise. Long before now, I've always known that the president will seek a re-election, and for the records, he has my support. And why I think that it is necessary for the president to seek a re-election is because even if you look at other jurisdictions like the United States, apart from George W. Bush, the 42nd, all other presidents in recent time have been given opportunity by the people to consolidate on what they started. The economic recovery growth plan of the government, you look at the N-Power program, you look at employment that we are seeing in one or two places, except for insecurity that most recently has become so pathetic. All other aspects of the economy, there is an effort on the part of the government. And it is only necessary in the circumstance that the president should seek a re-election so that they see how they can do what they can to consolidate on that. Otherwise, we don't have a culture of continuity in Nigeria. Any government that come after him will seek to start their own and not to continue from what has been started. So I'm not surprised that the president is seeking for re-election, and I support him.
Okay, well, when you look at the reactions that have been coming in from the PDP in particular, I mean, they're looking at it and saying, well, he's an aspirant. Until he's a candidate, it remains an internal affair. But what about those who are maybe trying to throw their hats into the ring for the first time, younger aspirants? Do you think that this announcement will put them off in any way?
No, I don't think so. Anybody who believes in himself, believes he has a vision, and believes that he can galvanize popular support is free to contest. As a matter of fact, in a free and a healthy democratic setting, we should be able to allow the opposition to become viral and strong. But I know, for a fact that if you look at third force or fourth force or whatever concept of the emergence of a new set of people, I hold the view that they will take part and they will succeed in areas, for example, governorship, National Assembly, State Houses of Assembly, but it may be difficult to knock off the president at this stage. As for PDP, which is a party that poses the strongest opposition, at the moment I think they are not serious, because if PDP is serious to give President Buhari a run for his money, they know the candidate that will emerge from the party that will be able to challenge him. And for now, I think if PDP is not rallying behind Atiku Abubakar, then PDP is just merely playing. Because, you see, most of the political parties have zoned the presidency to the north. So the question now is, which northern politician has the caliber to challenge President Buhari? President Buhari can come to the table with 6 to 7 million votes, even for a start, before you talk about campaigning and canvassing. So for them to be able to pose a threat, they have to look for a credible candidate. But as it stands now, most of the people that are parading themselves as presidential candidates, in my opinion, cannot even win governorship in their respective states.
Okay, being that your opinion, but let us look at what is going on even within the APC, as they try to position themselves for 2019. You see the plan to grant waivers for party executives at all levels to prevent, the internal wrangling that we saw on tenure elongation and etc. Is that the end of it? Do you think that this is a way of making both sides settled in some way? And is it legal anyway?
No, I don't think so. Well, first of all, it's legal what they are doing, but politically, and I have actually not changed from my initial position. That is that it is a fact APC does not want to admit there is a crisis in APC. And I gave an opinion where I said that except they use the section 13 sub 3 and the NEC use that as an opportunity to extend the tenure of these serving people, avoid the Congress by all means, so that when this election is conducted and you consolidate on the gains, then next year you can do Congress and settle whatever dispute. But as it stands now, they give the world the impression there is no crisis. Crisis has just begun.
All right, at that point, I'm going to have to end it. And thank you so very much, legal practitioner Mr. Daniel Bala, for joining us on the news at 10 tonight. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And in part 2, after the break, Minister of Information Lai Mohammed asked Nigerians to expect a shocker in the new list of looters to be released by the federal government. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.